The storm rolled in over the city like a warning from the heavens, swallowing the late afternoon sun behind a wall of steel-gray clouds. Rain began to fall in sharp, slanted sheets, drumming against rooftops and sidewalks, washing the streets in silver. The wind roared through the narrow alleys, rattling loose signs and slamming shutters closed, as if even the city itself wanted no part of what was about to happen. Amid the chaos of the weather, a lone German shepherd cut through the rain like a shadow with purpose. His paws splashed through shallow puddles, his breath came fast but steady, and his eyes burned with the kind of determination that came from instinct and loyalty. Clenched gently in his powerful jaws was a military-style tactical pack, dark green and heavy, yet carried as though it was the most fragile thing in the world. From inside the bag came a muffled, desperate cry, high-pitched, frightened, human. Echo's mind didn't process the politics, the lies, or the danger. He only knew that this life he carried needed to survive. And if it cost him his own, so be it. If you believe in kindness, in second chances, and in the unshakable loyalty that animals can show, please pause for a moment right now to like this video, share it with someone who could use a little hope, and subscribe to Pawsitive Tales. Your support keeps stories like this alive, stories that remind us all what love and courage truly look like. The heavy glass doors of the downtown precinct banged open as Echo barreled inside, his wet fur dripping onto the polished tile, his claws clicking rapidly against the floor. The officers in the main hallway froze, startled by the sight of their K9 charging in alone, unaccompanied by his handler. Their confusion turned to shock when they saw what he carried. A baby, barely a few months old, lay strapped inside the pack, its small face pale and streaked with tears, its mouth opening and closing in weak cries. Echo skidded to a halt in the center of the room, his chest heaving, his amber eyes scanning the faces of the humans around him until they found one Officer Dana Morgan. She was his partner, his handler, the only person he trusted as much as his own instincts. Dana rushed forward, kneeling down, her heart pounding at the sight of the child. She carefully took the pack from Echo, unzipping it enough to check the baby's breathing. The child was alive, but cold to the touch. She wrapped her own jacket around the tiny body, her pulse racing with confusion. Where had this baby come from? Why was Echo alone? And why was the bag military issue? Only hours before, Dana and Echo had been on patrol in the outer industrial district. It was a part of the city most people avoided, a dead zone of crumbling warehouses, rusted gates, and broken glass, where the air always smelled faintly of oil and decay. The patrol had been uneventful until Echo stopped dead in his tracks, his head snapping toward a chain-link fence. His ears twitched, his nostrils flared. Dana knew that look. Echo had picked up something. She gave him the command to investigate, and he slipped through a gap in the fence like a shadow. Dana followed, her boots crunching on gravel, the rain soaking through her uniform. They moved deeper into the complex, past buildings whose windows were dark and hollow. That was when Echo's pace quickened, his nose low to the ground, his tail stiff. He stopped at a steel door, the paint peeling away in strips. Dana noticed the faded stencil above it, letters and numbers she recognized from her years in the army. This wasn't just an abandoned warehouse. It had once been part of a military storage site, one that official records claimed had been decommissioned years ago. But the air inside was warm, not cold like the rain. The hum of a generator somewhere deep within told her this place wasn't as dead as it looked. Echo moved down a long corridor, his nails tapping against the concrete, until he reached a corner cluttered with old tarps and crates. From beneath the largest tarp came a faint, muffled whimper. Echo nudged the fabric aside with his nose, revealing the tactical pack. The sound came again, small, human. Dana's breath caught. She knelt, pulling at the zipper, and saw a tiny hand twitch. The baby's eyes opened weakly, locking onto hers. The military-style blanket wrapped around the child was instantly familiar to her, and that familiarity sent a chill through her. Before she could process it, a distant metallic clang echoed through the building. Someone was here. And Dana had the sudden, bone-deep certainty that whoever had left this baby here did not intend for it to be found alive. She gave a single sharp order to Echo. He took the bag in his teeth and bolted for the exit, moving faster than she could keep up. By the time she made it back to the patrol car, Echo was already gone, vanishing into the rain-soaked streets. He didn't stop until he reached the station. Back at the precinct, as medics took the baby to warm blankets and oxygen, Dana unzipped the pack fully for evidence. That was when she saw it. Stitched inside the lining, barely visible, was a faded insignia. Her stomach dropped. She had seen that insignia before, years ago, in the army. It belonged to a classified unit known only in whispers. Officially, the unit had been dissolved after a mission overseas went wrong, horribly wrong. An entire village had been wiped out under the vague label of enemy engagement, but rumors told a different story. The last record of that mission mentioned a newborn casualty, listed as deceased. That had been over a decade ago. And now here was a living child, wrapped in a blanket from that very unit. Dana's instincts screamed that the truth was dangerous. If this child's existence came to light, it could unravel a web of lies the military had worked years to bury. Which meant there were people out there willing to do anything, absolutely anything, to make sure that never happened. That night, Dana moved the baby to a safe house on the edge of the city. Echo stayed glued to the child, lying beside the crib, ears alert, eyes constantly scanning the room. It was as though he understood exactly what was at stake. But within days, strange things began to happen. Unmarked cars idled near the safe house. Surveillance vans appeared in alleys. One evening, Echo began growling low and steady at the back door. Dana's training kicked in, and she grabbed the baby just seconds before the door burst inward. Armed men in black stormed the house. Echo leapt, teeth flashing, taking one to the ground. Dana slipped out the rear exit with the child, her heart pounding in her ears, gun drawn. They fled into the night, hiding in safe houses, then motels, then finally the woods. Dana knew they needed proof, something undeniable to bring the truth to light. She gathered what she could: photos of the insignia, the military blanket, the baby's DNA profile. Their only hope was a journalist known for breaking military scandals, someone who could publish the story before the cover-up closed in around them. The journey to reach him was grueling. They traveled by night, slept in shifts, and kept off main roads. Echo's instincts were their compass. More than once, he pulled Dana into hiding just before a search team passed. The bond between Echo and the baby grew with each passing day. He guarded the child as fiercely as he would his own pup. And when Dana finally stumbled into a remote clearing in the woods, exhausted and half-frozen, it was Echo who led her to a small cabin, the journalist's hideout. Within hours, the first images were transmitted to secure media outlets. The world saw the baby's face, the evidence, and the truth about the mission that had been buried for so long. The backlash was immediate. High-ranking officials resigned. Investigations began. And for the first time, the story of that lost village and its smallest survivor was free. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, share it with someone who needs to believe in courage again, and subscribe to Pawsitive Tales. Your support lets us keep these true-to-life stories alive. Before we end, tell us in the comments, what's the most selfless act you've ever seen an animal do? Your story might inspire someone else today.